Well, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Thank you for participating in the Pulsar Measurement 2021 Connect V Fair. I am going to be doing the final presentation for today. I hope I can do as well as everyone that preceded me. Today I will be presenting the 5 W's and 2 H's on the Sludge Finder 2 and Viper. 5 W's. Who would use? What is a sludge finder? Where should you use? Why use a Sludge Finder 2 and Viper when setting up a Sludge Finder 2 and Viper? And how does the Sludge Finder 2 and Viper work? And how do you look at a working Sludge Finder 2 and Viper? My name is Rob Davis, the Pulsar Measurement Territory Manager for the Northeast. 6 years of instrumentation, sales, and support. Prior to this, 16 years of healthcare facility sterilization and decontamination sales and service and support. Who should use a Sludge Finder 2 and Viper? People in the wastewater industry, water treatment industry, and industrial plants would be using the Sludge Finder 2 and Viper, and possibly the ST10 sensor, which is the sensor that does not have the wiper. Plant supervisors, operators looking for safe and reliable meter, and also money savings. That's the key, saving money. Some examples. Great Lakes Water Authority in Detroit, Michigan uses our Sludge Finder 2 and Viper on their solids settlement polymer tanks for cleaning, for drinking water, clean water. They have the sensors placed into the rectangular clarifiers in order to measure the buildup on the bottom of the tank for the passing of the flights when they're pushing the solids into the drain. What happened in Great Lakes is they had sediment build up way beyond the measured amount that was needed, and the flight broke, the paddle that pushes the sediment on the bottom, and it was about an $800,000 repair that was needed. So for insurance, they added the SF2 and Viper to all of the rectangular clarifiers. Common applications for the SF2, Sludge Finder 2, and Viper are clarifiers and wastewater treatment plants. Most recent example of this for me is in Florence, New Jersey, wastewater treatment plant. They have 2 clarifiers that are next to each other. We installed the Sludge Finder 2 controller on the bridge on the one clarifier and ran the wiring to the second with the Viper sensor into the second clarifier. So now you're able to read both clarifiers in the one controller in the cabinet. An industrial application that I have is out of Newark, New Jersey, on a cosmetic factory where they use silica. The application is on an SBR, and they fill the SBR up. They use the sensor to wait for the silica to settle into the bottom, and then they siphon off the silica, and that water is sent to be processed. So that's who we would want to use a Sludge Finder 2 and Viper. What is a Sludge Finder 2 and Viper? Sludge Finder 2 and Viper is a continuous level sensor with 6 relays. It has the ability to track 2 level or 2 settlement levels on an application, basically 2 inputs. It has a VT10 sensor with a wiper on it. As you can see in the 2 pictures, that wiper is used to keep the sensor face clean from buildup. Also, we have applications with fixed arm or forks. The forks allow you to skip over the rake on the top or the scum rake and it allows you to go back into the drink without interrupting that rake and breaking it. System uses a high frequency sensor. Super easy to set up, and I will get into that in a few slides here. Where would you use a Sludge Finder 2 and Viper? Well, there's many places to use the Sludge Finder 2 and Viper. These are some of the common applications where we would be. The most common is in wastewater on clarifiers. If you have an application where you think a Sludge Finder 2 with Viper would work, my thing is let's trial it. Let's set up a trial. Let's get the sensor in. Let's make sure that we're seeing that settlement in the application, whether it be salt brine tanks, oil and water separators, SBRs, all about trialing it. If you don't trial it, you're not going to know. Why use a Sludge Finder 2 and Viper? One of the biggest reasons is money savings. You want to be able to have that process to be efficient. You really don't want wasting. You can set your pumps to run to a certain level and turn them off. Another huge key to the Sludge Finder 2 and Viper is the fact that you do not have to use a manual tube to take the measurement. With COVID now being in wastewater, there's an opportunity that you may touch that COVID. Another big reason too for using the Sludge Finder 2 and Viper is you could put five different people on the bridge using the manual tube. They will push the manual tube down into the clarifier and bring that tube up and look at the reading on the tube. Each person is going to have their own interpretation of that level. With the Sludge Finder 2, you take that interpretation out and the meter does the work for you. There's no guessing. Another great thing is that the package adapts to multiple applications, as we discussed. So, super intuitive. When setting up a Sludge Finder 2, you need minimal information. Material type of site being monitored. Is it industrial, primary, or secondary clarifier, an SBR? Measurement units, whatever you want to read in, feet, meters, inches, tank depth, face of the sensor to the bottom of the tank. So if you look over on the right, we have the sensor in the drink, which is the top yellow line. Then we have the sludge settlement level, which is the middle line. And then we have the bottom of the tank. Once you put this information in, the controller will calculate the span for you. It factors in the near blanking distance. How does the Sludge Finder 2 and Viper work? Well, we insert the sensor into the drink, and the sensor waves travel through the liquid at 4,862 feet per second. The sensor is 700 kilohertz, and that sensor fires and it bounces off of the blanket level. And if there is no blanket level, it will hit the bottom. Reference point is the top of the water. Insertion depth is the bottom of the sensor. Your range is from the sensor face to the bottom of the tank. You have your blanket level, which is the second yellow line from the bottom, and then you have your tank depth. That is what it would look like when you install the sensor into the drink and what you would be seeing on the bottom of the tank. It will pick up any distinct density changes in that tank. It also gives you the ability to read flock. So if you were to want to read the sludge level at the bottom and also the flock level, you can program that as well and set up relays to siphon off the sludge off of the bottom. How do you look at a working Sludge Finder and Viper? This is what you will see on the controller interface. At the bottom, you can scroll over to Echo, and looking at the Echo, you will see the measurement of the sludge interface, 1.7 meters. You have the arrow which indicates the sludge interface. And then you have on the left-hand side your echo strength in millivolts. At the bottom, you have your transducer status, which is saying okay. And the gate, which surrounds your indicator, which locates the level. And then to the right, we have our distance in measurement units, and that's set up earlier in global in the scroll down menu. And then we have the tank bottom. This is what you would see on a standard Sludge Finder 2 and Viper controller. You can also view this on PC Suite. Quick recap. Accuracy, 0.25%, 6-degree beam angle. We have a almost 33-foot range, and we have about a 1-foot blanking distance. The combo gets used on a primary, secondary, and tertiary settlement tanks with stationary or traveling bridges, SBR systems. The unit can read and display 2 points of level and also give flock. It is a dual point measurement system that also gives you the ability to use a standard DB sensor and measure level without having the submersible Viper sensor. So you could also bring a single DB sensor in along with the Viper sensor and have a sludge level and then a fluid level on the top, a top-down measurement. Any questions? I'll give it a minute here. I don't see any questions. I see in the chat, very nice setup. The Sludge Finder 2 and Viper is super easy to set up. With solar panels. The question is, hi, do you have any applications with solar panels for this product? I don't have any in my particular area. I do believe that we would be able to do a solar panel. We would just need to know the power consumption of the Sludge Finder 2. So yes, we should be able to do that. I will check to see if we have any applications in Ecuador. So solar panel applications, and then we would need to know the power consumption. And we'll check on applications in Ecuador. The system will work on a clarifier with the moving rake it has the ability to add forks to the bottom of the sensor to skip over the rake. So yes, we can do that. Any more questions? Yes, you can use the controller with two sensors or one sensor with one level sensor fed to a single controller. Yes, you can use a Viper sensor and a DB sensor fed into the Sludge Finder 2 controller to measure the water level. And then you can use the Viper in the drink to measure the density level. Any more questions? Oh. I have, can you discuss the density, please, measurement? The Viper sensor is looking for the settlement layer of with the density with the meter. So you have a clear liquid, and within that you may have some floating particulate. As that particulate settles out, you will create a density level, and the meter will pick up, and the ultrasonic wave will come off of the density level as it builds up, giving you the measurement. For density measurement, we would need, on most clarifiers, it works well if you have an application where you have light fluff or the solids aren't super dense and settled on the bottom. I would say we would trial it to make sure that it will work and read the settlement as it settles down. We can detect down to 0.5% density. Question is the measurement that was added in the latest firmware. I'm not sure what you're asking. Ron? 0.5% density. we have always been able to read down to 5%, but it reads level, not density. Is that what you're looking for, Ron? Okay, there was. So you can also read flock, the flocculant level with a single sensor. So with the you would insert the sensor into the clarifier, and you're looking for a flocculant level so that you're not overflowing into the fingers on the outside of the clarifier. So you would have a flock alarm. That's where you would use your flock level with it. I don't have any screenshots of that. I can get that for you. Thank you, Ron. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.